Hey guys, you're not going to be able to believe this. Sam Bankman Fried's mother openly laughed in court during the proceedings to, get him bail. Now, listen, I'm no legal expert, but I think that laughing at one of these proceedings when your son is trying to obtain bail to get out of a Bahamian jail cell is probably not a good idea. And the weird part about it is this woman is a law professor at Stanford University, her and her husband. Is it arrogance? Is it disbelief? Is it a combination of the two? But your son is about to probably start a process that's going to potentially end him up in prison for the rest of his life. And you laugh openly in court? What is wrong with this woman anyway? Let's get into it. Sam Bankman Fried appeared at a hearing in the Bahamas on Tuesday with his parents in attendance, according to multiple reports, including the New York Times and the cryptocurrency site CoinDesk. At the hearing, which largely focused on if Bankman Fried would be released on bail, the former FTX CEO indicated that he was not waiving his right to challenge his extradition to the U.S., according to the report by CoinDesk. Now, aside from the fact that you just don't want to be sitting in a jail cell just on GP, okay? Who really wants that? Aside from that, if you are trying to mount a defense to keep you out of prison for a very, very long time, it is probably best that you are not in jail, not locked up, not being held, because you can better assist your attorney or attorneys, in his case, I'm sure he's going to have a few, in trying to, build this case against the government to, keep you out of prison. Add to that the fact that the Bahamas has taken custody of him, and we'll go through this whole extradition proceeding, and he will eventually get extradited back to the United States. But the Bahamian judge is saying, hey, that'll take place sometime next year. Reasonably. I mean, we only got a couple of weeks left in this year anyway. So she didn't say, or the judge didn't say whether it would be early next year or what. Anyway, Sam Bankman Fried goes on to try to say, hey, look, I take certain medications. That's why I can't be arrested. I can't be held because of medications. And the court assured him that, that's fine. People in jail get medication all the time. It's not a big deal. And they denied him bail, saying that he was a flight risk. Now, they actually called him a fugitive, but he can be viewed as a flight risk because FTX had, properties all over the world. Now, he's a very recognizable person, so I don't know where you're going where, somebody's not going to recognize you and you still are living in the type of, style you're accustomed to. But besides the point, at the hearing, which largely focused on if Bankman Fried would be released on bail, again, he said he's not going to fight. Well, he reserves his right to fight extradition. Why he would want to do that may be a delaying tactic to help, obtain more time to prepare. During the proceedings, Bankman Fried's mama, Barbara Fried, laughed when her son was called a fugitive, according to CoinDesk report, which described his parents as showing both dejection and defiance. She also clenched her jaw and chewed on the frames of her glasses. Not the kind of behavior you want to exhibit in court, especially one that's not in the United States of America. Okay, probably if the judge is human. Okay, so if they're sitting up there seeing you go through these different conniptions, it's probably not going to endear your son to them. All right. And so they dropped the hammer and said that he would get no bail. Now, not to be outdone, his father actually got in on the act. His father, Joseph Bankman, quote, occasionally put his fingers in his ears as if to drown out the sound of the proceedings, unquote. This is per CoinDesk. You know, these two strike me as the type of people who have been cloistered in academia. You know, they're both law professors. And when you are in a classroom, I suppose you don't have, any opposition to go up against you. There is no cross-examination. So maybe over the decades that they've been professors, they've developed some sense of uber entitlement. They better shake it real quick, because they could actually be being looked at as involved in what's going on here. We did the video about their involvement with regard to the real estate that FTX purchased. I'll post that here so you can check it out after this video. After the hearing, which ended with Bankman Fried being denied bail, both parents gave him a hug, per the Times. Both Fried and Bankman are on the faculty at Stanford Law School and remain in the Bahamas with their son. Bankman Fried's family received payments from FTX, according to the current CEO of FTX, John J. Ray III, who testified before Congress on yesterday, the 13th of December, 2022. The hearings came after the former FTX CEO was arrested on Monday at the request of federal prosecutors in New York. There's a lot of speculation as to why they moved on him like they did before his testimony. Let me play devil's advocate for a moment. It is possible that he was going to get up there and just plead the fifth. He had hired Rob Cohen in the previous week. Okay, so he was getting serious about a legal defense, it looks like. I think he was going to plead the fifth. He did, though, have a prepared statement that he wrote. So it is also possible that the feds were like, look, we don't want anything. We got a rock solid case here. We don't want anything tainting it at all. So go ahead and nab him and don't let him do this testimony before Congress. If you really think Congress, a committee chaired by Maxine Waters, who took donations from this individual, Sam Bankman-Fried, several other committee members on that finance committee took donations from this guy. Do you really think that they were going to put the screws to him at that hearing? I don't believe so. And then even if they did, so what? Congress has very limited power in terms of being able to enforce anything. So what we're getting, okay, so what? He didn't testify before Congress. Fine. All right. Do you really think that these bigwigs that donated this money are, going to get up there and say, hey, I took X amount of dollars from Sam Bankman-Fried and I feel bad about it and I'm giving it back to John J. Ray so that he can distribute it among the, people who lost money? No, that was never going to happen. Okay. Sam Bankman-Fried is saying, hey, look, if I was allowed to, if the feds would unfreeze my money, I could get it back to the people and make everybody whole. I don't know if there's any truth to that. What he's saying conflicts with what John J. Ray is saying when he's looking through these, the forensics of the company and how poorly it was run. So that's what's going on, guys. We got his mother and his father in there laughing. The father's putting his fingers in his ear like, nah, I can't hear you. Schoolyard stuff. I hope these people get a stern talking to from the legal team. Or you know what? Whatever. Let them do whatever they want. Let the cards fall where they may. Because if you don't have enough sense to understand that you don't go into a court of law acting like that, then you know what? You deserve whatever it is that you ultimately get. I remember that guy. His name was Ronnie O'Neill, the fool that defended himself, and he got, just acted like a lunatic. All right. Look what happened to him. He'll never see the light of day again. Now, I know that was a violent crime. I get that, but I'm just using it as an example of how people, when they show no respect for a court that could hold your life in the balance. I just think a different approach is warranted. That's just me. All right, guys, let me know what you think in the comments. Like, subscribe, share. Check out all of the videos we've done on this FTX scandal. Again, why I'm focused on this, trust me, this ain't going to become the crypto channel or the Sam Bankman-Fried channel. Check out some of our other videos as well. But the reason that I'm focused on this right now is because it's a good example of why you need to do your due diligence and why you have to prevent yourself from getting caught up in the hype, okay, of asset classes and investment ideas. Don't get emotional about it. A lot of people did. A lot of people displayed a lot of over enthusiasm, and a lot of people lost a lot of money in the process. Guys, I'll talk to you soon.